تمام.
Good morning
Okay.
or good day, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. I'm going to speak in English as I believe this is the language that everybody speaks
Yeah, thank you so much,
with Arabic.
Karim. Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Rami,
Karim,
for
for being there. We appreciate your time and help and efforts, and we are very interested to learn from you the insights, experience, and all of the stuff. Go ahead. I don't want to
thank you,
waste your
Rami.
time.
Thank you for everyone hosting this conference and those sessions. Today I'm gonna talk about a very sensitive and very trendy subject, which is how to turn your idea into a product and launch it. uh, I don't know, like I've seen like the audience in front of me, but I believe everybody comes from different background. A lot of you come from the technology background. They are expert in technology, but on the other hand, I believe I've saw a lot of marketeer people coming from the marketing and some of them like I believe HR or business development. So this topic, fortunately, this topic it covers everyone, regardless like your expertise in technology, regardless like your background. It focuses on common sense and on business knowledge and literally how to turn an idea in your mind into something tangible, something digital. Previously this week, I was looking at an interesting article in Forbes, which is this one. It's 50 most funded startups in the Middle East. The catchy thing is like there are 50 most funded startups, which means like, wow, it's a big number, 50. But let's take into consideration like the Arab world. The Arab world, it has like 500 million people, like around 470 million in population. So 50, which means 0.0000002%. That's great. Those 50 people, they had huge success and they found they had their idea and then they translated it into something digital, a digital product. And they got funded, by the way. All of them, they got funded. They have investors, like this is the number one. All of them, if you notice, they have digital apps, online apps that gather data that is concentrated around data analytics and serving the consumer or the market and all their attributes. Look at this guy, all of those, like they funded this person, etc., 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 etc. If you load more, you can see like the least one funded was like $5 million. That's great. The question is, what about the other people in the Arab world that they didn't have the chance to get funded? What about those people? This is a big question. Nobody tells you about what's going on in their life or about their business endeavor. They will tell you, okay, we had this success, we had this, etc., etc., etc. But nobody will tell you about like the inconvenience or the obstacle they were facing. And the trend nowadays is all about startups. It's all about like having an idea and translating it into something digital and fast, whether like a native app or a web app or any kind of app. But the point is it has to be online. Everything is the age of digital transformation, is the age of the internet. And we have a promising 5 years. Everything is going to be automated. Everything is going to be online. So what about those people? Today, I'm gonna talk to you about all the inconvenience, about all the obstacle. It's the mindset. Of course, like everybody need a mentor in life. Like Jeff Bezos, he has a mentor in his life. Why a mentor? A mentor is an eye opener, someone who will like open your eyes for things that you took for granted, for things that you think that you're better than them or more knowledgeable, but at the end they're gonna cause a certain fuss or a problem for you. For mentoring, so mentoring or someone who gives you insight is something really beneficial and it's inevitable. Today I'm gonna discuss that with you, all of you. Startup. The big question is like, why digital? Okay, unless you have like you're opening a startup that has to do with like with the food business, you're opening a restaurant, something tangible, with the physical location. Okay, I'm with you. Let's go to the end with it. But at the end, you need to have a web app or an app so you can have like online delivery for your product. So you can gain consumer insights. So you can control the market for marketing penetration and manipulation. So at the end, whatever you're doing, you're going to end up by having an online business. Every company, in order to survive and to grow, will need to become a technology company. This is a must, and this is a basic rule nowadays. And every business will need to become a digital business. And so every company will need to become a software company. Believe it or not, your company will become a software company, regardless your product or your service. So the equation is, are you ready to evolve your business? So one of the key ways to enable your business to grow and to evolve is to improve engagement with your customers. And the only way to do that, believe it or not, is online. So hence making your business digital. Facebook, Instagram, and all those social media platforms, they are top-notch. They are the best of the best in the world. Why? Because their marketing scheme and their business plan, their business model is focusing on customer engagement, on giving you analytics, on putting the right ad for the right people at the right place with the right message. So believe it or not, you're a player. Don't believe the player, believe the game. In order to make your business digital or to translate your idea into something digital, I'm pretty sure you have tons of idea and tons of things in your mind that will start making you question everything. Like, okay, I'm gonna build a web app. Okay, it's gonna be on Apple Store. It's gonna be on Play Store for Androids. It's gonna be only on desktop. So those questions will start to emerge in your mind. If you start noticing, like based on all the studies, recent studies, like the advanced no code and all the visual programming is booming nowadays. Gartner, for example, I believe all the tech people here as attendees, they know about Gartner and their insights. By 2020, at least 50% of all new business applications will be created with high productivity tool sets, such as low code and no code application development platforms. By the way, there is a lot of similarities in calling the no code by low code. So and when you do a lot of Google research, you will notice that low code and no code sometimes are similar and sometimes they are different. But I'm focusing like no code, which means visual programming, which means like you program something, you program your web app without using any line of code, without diving into the complication of coding. So through 2021, the market demand for app development will grow at least 5 times faster than IT capacity to deliver it. That's Gartner who said that. Forrester also, they called the low-code market a high growth area. And they predict that it's going to grow by 10 billion in 2019. This year, they are growing more and even more. I'm going to share with you also another screen. Bear with me, please. That's something recent. Bear with me, please. Chrome tab. Okay. Forrester predicted that the no-code development platform market would grow by $21.2 billion in 2022. And Gartner expects that low-code application platforms will account for 65% of all app development by 2024. So the big question is like, I'm asking myself, like, okay, I'm gonna develop something nowadays. I'm gonna develop a big web app. It's gonna be an excellent idea. It's gonna be perfect. But what do I need? Usually the mainstream or the market nowadays, they told you, your friends, your colleagues, your peers, everyone will tell you, okay, you have to hire consultants, you have to hire a developer. From Egypt, from Pakistan, from India. Okay, perfect. It's gonna be affordable. Some of them, they're gonna be expensive. If you're gonna go to companies like companies that have like 10 employees to 50 or to 100 or to 100, they're gonna cost you more. So first thing, you're gonna like ask yourself, do I have enough money in my pocket to develop this web app? If I'm gonna go with something reliable or company that I trust, I'm gonna pay more for them. That's inevitable. If I'm gonna go for freelancer nowadays, I'm gonna pay maybe for less. I can bargain with them, but I'm gonna work with them remotely. And God knows, maybe they will drag me for months and months, for up to 5 to 6 months, and maybe I will not have the expected result. So there is a lot of insecurity here and mistrust, and they're gonna affect your schedule by building your web app. You have a dream, you're visualizing it every day, and fantasizing about it, and imagining that it's nowadays in the market and how it's gonna operate. But those impediments, or those like what ifs, they're gonna affect you big time. They're gonna affect your judgment. By the way, AppSheet nowadays, it's acquired by Google. It's the one of the key players in the market. It's the top notch. They acquired AppSheet. AppSheet is a simple platform. If you have like an Excel sheet or online Excel sheet or a Google sheet, you can automatically import your sheet into AppSheet and making it like, for example, for e-grocery. For example, for inventory management, like you can develop a web app in a couple of hours, as simple as that, using AppSheet. But you need programming to do that, not coding. You need like the common sense. This guy, he's very famous. He's a very strong influencer in the US. He said like no-code startups are the game changer. Non-developers, they are able to build business without developers. And it's a mind-blowing possibility. It's a game changer. So the possibility of hiring people to do your web app, you can discard it. You can cross it and you can throw it in the garbage. So the big thing, so you're gonna say, I'm gonna rely on myself, on a couple of colleagues that can help me, or partners or friends, and we're gonna develop this web app together. Another thing, this is the guy who invented Bubble, which is a very powerful platform using no code. Bubble, by the way, they raised $6 million and they are becoming really powerful. You can simply develop any idea, any web application using Bubble, by the way. This lady here, she said, she displayed a really important confession. She said, I've used WordPress for 9 years, a custom code for 5 years, and Webflow for 1 year. I literally cannot believe what I've built in 3 weeks using Bubble. All the jobs on LinkedIn, all the job description, whenever they need someone to develop, all those big companies, they need someone to develop web apps. They ask for people who have skills that has WordPress skills. But hey, a lot of people will believe what the market says. The market nowadays, and since like a couple of years or more, like 6-7 years, they are relying on WordPress, but they don't know the trends and the updates of the market. Here I'm gonna tell you the updates in the market. Few people, like, okay, the old school people or people who didn't do enough research, they're gonna rely on WordPress. But if you Google it, GoDaddy is better than WordPress. With GoDaddy, you can build your you can buy your domain and you can build your web application in a couple of days, maximum in 1 week. It depends on the complexity of your idea, but it is possible. You can do it by yourself, while watching Netflix, while sitting with your wife or your friend. So it's doable. I'm gonna go to, okay, 70 no-code idea to traction. That's for Forbes. There is also Microsoft. Yeah, this guy, Microsoft. Microsoft is a big player nowadays in building web apps. This is another proof. Now we have Google. Now we have Microsoft. Microsoft, they are launching something called Power Apps. I'm going to share with you the screen here. Power Apps is a suite of apps, services, connectors, and data platform that provide a rapid application development environment to build custom apps for your business needs, where you can quickly build custom business apps that connect to your business data store, either in the underlying data platform or in various online or on-premises data sources like SharePoint, C65, Dynamics, SQL, and so on. So this is another proof for you that everybody's shifting into building web apps in quick and very, very fast time. I'm going to show you again my presentation. Bear with me, please. So you're going to build your app, but before that, you're going to ask yourself those questions. Okay, product requirement document. The business questions to be answered in a product requirement documents. Why do we want to build this app? What problems will it solve in the market? Are we gonna solve something? Is it something new, something revolutionary, or something like, for example, an added app? Like there is a lot of app regarding, for example, real estate. Are you gonna build something related to real estate, but it's gonna be like only a number in the list, or something revolutionary that's gonna solve something? What user needs or desire will it fill? In short, what's the overriding vision? Exactly, how will the app work, and who's the target audience? That's the biggest question ever. What functions and features will it provide, and what level of expertise will users need to use it? Sample user profile and general workflow can be enormous assets here. Does the same or similar app already exist? That answers the second question. If so, would ours be an improvement or an advancement that people would be motivated to download? All those questions. Can we take the existing product and build on its functionality? If not, has someone already gone down this road and failed? So are we gonna go the same road and fail, or are we gonna solve something and add this X factor, and then hence our application will succeed? So there's a lot of question. I don't know if Rami at the end would share with you my presentation, but it has all those questions. You can take a screenshot for those questions. How big is the prospective market for this app? What marketing channels will be used to promote it? My point here, in the world of startups, a lot of people will go with the trend and with the mainstream knowledge, and people will tell them, hey, why don't you get funded at the beginning? There is like a seeding phrase, angel investors, a lot of people can help you, and then seeding A, B, C, D until like it got into a public offering. But before reaching any investor, the big question, okay, the investors will help you, will lend you money, will get engaged more with your efforts and your marketing efforts and product development efforts. But don't forget that those investors, they are relying on ROI. So they put their money, but they want their money back, and even more, they want profit. So those things will affect your judgment. They will affect it big time, and the time will start ticking the moment you shake hands with them. So the best solution is to be independent at the beginning. The first thing is to build your prototype. The first thing is to save your time. What's the most valuable resources? It's not money or knowledge. It's actually time. So when you have an idea for an app that you want to build, you want to get it in front of customers, your end users, as soon as possible. So you want to build a prototype. A prototype is something that, okay, your app, it's fully functional. It's an MVP. You can test all the buttons, your database. It should be short, so you can like a demo database. So whenever you can show it to investors, or you want to show it to other people, technical people, they can understand exactly what you want. The solution is to focus more on the idea itself and on the technology. So no code will provide you the help to build your web app, which is the hardest phase possible. It's your idea becoming something tangible and digital, where you have the proof and the pride to show it to investors and to show it to your partners and to your peers. In case you want to build a second version or more evolved version, then you start summoning investors. But if you don't need that, you don't have to do that. Not because you can, you should. So no coding will give you the possibility to do that. And there is a lot of platforms. For e-commerce people, for example, the trend nowadays, they use Shopify, they use WooCommerce and Webflow. For content delivery, they use WordPress and Medium. For company website, they use WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, Card, GoDaddy, and a lot more. Every year and every month, there's a lot of online platforms that start emerging, they start existing. For the apps, the really advanced one, I prefer Bubble. This is why I've put it here. You can work with APIs, plugins, and other operations, dashboards, everything. You have fully control over the workflow of your application. Here is what's available in the market. For chatbots, you have those. For emails, you have those. For voice, you have those. For mobile apps, you have those. For front end with e-commerce, you have those. You can take a look, you can take a screenshot, and you can take your time seeing what's going on. For full stack web builders, you have Bubble. Bubble is the most efficient one. I've helped a lot of clients and students building their web apps using Bubble. Just a glimpse about what I do. I'm running a business, or my company, what it does. I help clients to build their web apps the shortest time possible so they can have an MVP or prototype. So they focus on no code. They focus on building their web application. It's not necessary to go into native apps. Native apps is not necessary. Native app, this is the difference between web app, native app, and hybrid app. Native app, like you can find it on Apple Store. There's a lot of terms and rules, etc., etc. Web app, it works only on browsers like Chrome or Safari. And hybrid app, they work on both. And everything has a pros and cons. Native, hybrid web, everything has a pros and cons. There is something called progressive web app. Progressive web app is something like you open your web app once you develop it to be loaded on Chrome or browser. Even opening Chrome or Safari from your smartphone, but you can download it on the desktop or your phone automatically, and you use it as if it's like a native app. But it only works if you have online connection, an online data connection. So look how the market is simplifying things. They start like by, okay, native apps, this is a must, but no, it's not a must. You have other options. You can build your web app instantly, and everybody can see it through their phones, desktops, and they can download it with the click of a button, literally one click of a button over the desktop of their smartphone, or on the desktop of their smartphones, using progressive web app. I'm gonna share with you, okay, programming, what I do to client, and I'll help them design or sketch their web app. I develop it, and later on, before deploying it, I teach them how to maintain their web app through visual programming. So usually with using common sense. Programming is something really common sense. For example, this is a simplified chart about programming. You start, you're gonna make a cup of tea. What do? When you start, you put the tea bag in a cup, you boil water. If the water is boiled, you pour water in a cup. If you want sugar, you add a teaspoon. If you want milk, you add teaspoon. It's a very simplified example about programming. However, on the right side, you have coding. Nobody likes coding. Nobody has the time to learn coding. Even the expert one, they know it's gonna take a lot of time to study coding, or to refresh the idea about coding, or to build something using coding. Programming is more simple. It's more common sense. Programming, what my clients do is like, well, I program their web app and I show them what I've done, and we go through it together. They come up with new ideas about developing or enhancing their web app, and it's something very beneficial, because it's gonna open more ideas for them. What are the hidden corners? What are the things that they need to enhance? So it's not only, for example, I'm gonna give you an example here. Bear with me, please. The difference between really coding, how it's difficult, and no coding. My application, not this one. Bear with me, please. Okay, this one. Those are the 4 stages to build your web app using coding. You source your idea, you market research, you define functionality. Okay, it's used in the no coding world, but the second phase and the third phase, they are really only found in the coding stage. You sketch your web app, you plan your workflow, you wireframe the UI, you seek early validation, you architect your database, you develop your front end, you build your back end, you host your web app, and you deploy that. Nobody wants that. If you are a marketeer or someone who is a business developer in a big multinational, who has an idea, who wants to develop it into web app, he doesn't have the energy, the time to go through that, and he doesn't want, if he's gonna hire someone to build this app using coding, he's not gonna understand the language. The best way is to use no code, because it's something fun, simple, and they can do it in literally a couple of weeks, and he can have his web app in his hands. A lot of people will talk about security here in building an application using no code. Okay, security, it's a big must. But for example, your database is hosted by AWS, Amazon Web Services, while you use Bubble. AWS is really secure. Okay, it's Amazon. They rule the world. They rule the internet. AppSheet is by Google. The cloud, the server, everything is on Google. So they rule the world. They rule everything. So you don't need to worry about cybersecurity unless you have a really multinational company and you've built something really big. It's a big company. It has a lot of insights and data, really valuable data. And those hackers, they're going to focus on tackling your company and stealing data or breaching or deteriorating your database or everything. Then you think of cybersecurity in a serious way. But if you're building a prototype or MVP, nobody's focusing. Yeah, nobody has the interest to disrupt or to let's say to dismantle your business or to destroy something. So the focus, the money, the energy is it should be on building your web app. You are the citizen developer here in this picture. It should be focused on developing your web app, prototyping it, start to penetrate the market to see whether it's working, yes or no. You spend money on marketing campaigns and business development. And in case you want to hire a salesperson or account manager, because you cannot do the work all by yourself, you can start investing, let's say, on marketing campaigns, YouTube, Facebook, everything. And then you start gathering or acquiring data, consumer insights and analytics, and then you see what you can evolve. If your application is really working, yes or no. Is it something really working in the market, yes or no? Now you have a proof that it's working and the ROI is going up. And then based on your business plan, whether you create a version 2, like Facebook, like Twitter, they've all started with the basic version and then they evolved. And after that, you start calling investors, you start to evolve using more resources and investing more money. But at the beginning, be humble, focused on your objective, as simple as that. I believe I consumed my 30 minutes here in my speaking slot. It's a big topic. It's a big discussion. I have a lot of things to share with you guys. Feel free to discuss anything in the lounge. You have my LinkedIn. I don't know, Rami, is my LinkedIn or my everything, all my contact details are shared with the audience where they can message me, they can email me, and we can discuss everything subject by subject, idea by idea.
Yes, all the details has been communicating with attendees as well as in their invitation, and even if you follow our social media account, LinkedIn, Twitters, you will find the speaker sessions live is there with their contact as well, so you'll be able to communicate with them and share your thoughts or anything in your mind. Now we have a couple of questions. Please just fill these questions into the feedback form as we are behind the time. Maybe
Thank you.
We are happy to hear your feedback. Speaker also happy to receive from you your questions, your inputs, and all the details that is required here. Okay, we appreciate the great information you shared, Karim. It's really impressive that you can develop something without making your hand dirty with the coding. It's really
exactly
yeah.
And exactly, it's a must nowadays.
Saving a lot of things at the early stages startups, which is helping really to launch the MVP as fast as you can getting invested or whatever. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate your
you. Thank you,
time, your
everyone.
help.
Thank you. And
We
good
are
luck
going
with
to the next
everything.
level,
I wish you a
inshallah.
lovely day. Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Same to you. Bye bye.